What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Fight Out podcast. Today we're breaking down UFC 321. Last time we went 6 out of 6, we went 7 out of 7, and we went 7 out of 8 on predictions, all on the same card. So, listen, if you want to win some money, stick around till the end. See the predictions that we put together. Let me know if you're back here. Let me know if it actually comes in for you. And yeah, if you want to earn some money, make sure you stick around. Before we dive in, just want to apologize for the inconsistency and thank everyone who does still watch these videos. It's going to be a lot more consistent now with the home office being finalized, home office / podcast studio. So this upcoming weekend, UFC 321, Tom Aspinall's first official defense of his UFC heavyweight title. Obviously, he's got a defense of his interim title. He's fighting Ciryl Gane. Really good card. It's at UK time. You know, most fight hours don't actually have to stay up this weekend. If you're a Liverpool fan like myself, though, Liverpool play at 8 o'clock, and it's just a nightmare for timing with this card. So, you know, you can't have it all your own way. Now, we're just going to be going through the main card here, and we're going to start at the beginning of the main card, the first fight of the main card, which is Alexander Rakic against Azamat Mirzanakov. So just before I dive in, if you can please subscribe, like, comment, let me know if you think I'm talking shite. Let me know if you're liking the vibe of what I'm putting out, and then we can dive in. So there's definitely money to be won on this card. Now, I'm not actually sure who the underdogs and favourites are. I haven't checked the odds, as if you've watched a few of these videos, you know that I don't do before diving in. I think Alexander Rakic has been on a terrible run of form. Well, not a thing, that's the obvious thing, but I mean, I think he's actually going to be an underdog here, and he's not, you know, he's no slouch by any means. He's just been on a little bit of a murderer's row, hasn't he? He's fought, you know, the who's who. He's had some bad losses. The last win was against Thiago Santos way back in 2021. Since then, he's fought Blachowicz, he's fought Prochazka, and he's fought Ankalaev. And Mirzakhanov isn't the one that you want to be making a comeback on, let's be honest about it. So I'm anticipating he's going to be a big underdog, but let me just have a little look here and see what the odds actually are. Wow, they're actually dead even. The pair of them, 10 to 11 and 5 to 6. So a slight favourite is Azamat. Now, look, I know Azamat hasn't fought like the who's who, but he's on a good winning streak, and Rakic is on a major skid. He fights skid. I'm going with Azamat Mirzakhanov. I think that he is going to get it done. I don't think this is the fight for Rakic that he gets back in the win column, to be honest with you. Moving further into the card, we've got Alexander Volkov against Jailton Almeida. Now, it's an interesting one with Volkov because, I mean, if you'd asked me, he beat Ciryl Gane. It was a win. I think Dana White said as much when he said they're going to look after Volkov. I don't think Ciryl Gane was happy with his performance in that fight, you know, to quote GSP. I think, you know, Volkov won. Jailton Almeida is tough opposition. Volkov's a bit of a puzzle, obviously, because of his height. I actually seen Tom Aspinall saying today that he doesn't think that Volkov is actually 6'7". He believes he's 6'9" because he stood next to him and he knows his own height, etc. And I think Jailton Almeida is on that kind of title run, and he's only lost recently to Curtis Blades that I can remember. I'm just having a little look at his record now. Yeah, it's only the Blades loss, and Volkov is coming in good. Now, I'll be honest, I'm really inclined to go with Alexander Volkov. And when I'm seeing his odds at 7-4, I think that's too much of an opportunity to patch up on. I'm going to go Alexander Volkov to get the win at 7-4. We've got a double going on. Now, coming into our next fight, it's Umar Nurmagomedov against Mario Bautista. I know a lot of people don't like Mario because of the fight with Jose Aldo still. It's so funny to me how that's like really stuck in people's minds, and he just, you know, they just didn't take to him off the back of it. Now, Umar's only loss, standing at 18-1, I believe, is to Merab. The Merab fight was nothing to be ashamed of. It was a very close fight. Merab definitely won, by the way, but my point being, it's no mean feat to try and beat Merab Dvalishvili. And I just think that with Batista, he's been on a really good run. You know, he's kind of been upsetting the apple cart in a lot of fights, and he's upset a lot of coupons along the way. You know, the Jose Aldo one, he bust ours that night because that was the only one that let us down as well. But I just think Umar's going to have too much for him. And Umar, looking at it right now, is a big favourite. So I've kind of gone a little bit around the houses to say that. But I think Umar is going to get a big win. Now, it's interesting because where does that win actually leave Umar in this division? He's lost the champion. okay, it was a close fight. Do you get a rematch off of, that one win because he hasn't fought since? I still think he's got to fight, somebody else. I know Sugar Sean's been trying to throw his name in the hat with that. I think that's a bad matchup, I'd avoid that if I was in. But yeah, I'm going Umar anyway to win in this fight. I'm not going to pick a method for that one because I think that could just go the distance and it could be a boring fight, to tell you the truth. Now, moving into our co-main event, we've got Mackenzie Dern against Jandiroba, obviously a rematch. If you've been watching the UFC embedded this week, the camera guy really knew what he was doing with the thumbnail, and also lingering when they were in that pool. If you know what I mean, you'll know what I'm talking about. I'm going Mackenzie Dern to get the win again here. I think she's going to have too much. Just hearing her talk, seeing her recent form, seeing training videos, however much you can look into that, I do think that she's going to have too much again for Jandiroba and get the win again. Now, we're already at the main event here, but I'm going to talk a little bit about this main event because there is a lot of history going down, this Saturday night. Ever since Tom Aspinall's been on his run, there's two fights that I've wanted to see. One of them, at the time, don't come at me, it was when Tom actually fought Volkov in UFC London and we were there. I wanted him to fight Tai Tuivasa, and he called out Tai Tuivasa, and Tai Tuivasa at the time was on that tier, and I just knew he's a striker, he's coming up against Tom. I knew Tom could do it, and I knew it'd be a really fan-friendly fight, and I thought, wow, that'd be an amazing main event for another UFC London card. At the time, Tai Tuivasa rejected the call out from Tom because he was scheduled to fight Ciryl, but we didn't know that he fought Ciryl at UFC Paris. Give a really good account of himself. It's probably the last time that Ty's looked good inside the octagon, if you ask me. But ultimately, Ciryl Gane ended up dismantling him, and it was vicious. I remember that head kick. That head kick was nasty, and it was obviously the beginning of the ending sequence. But since that time as well, Tom's also been slated to fight Ciryl. Now, obviously, you don't have to listen to me to give you the history lesson, but they've been going back and forth, and Tom is basically saying that he's been offered the fight 3 times. I believe this is the 4th time, and there's been different reasons, there's been different ways, but basically Tom Aspinall has said yes every time, and he's basically saying that Ciryl, for fear or lack of fear or no fear at all, has turned him down on 3 separate occasions, and now the hunter becomes the hunted because obviously Tom's the champ, and Cyryl's probably got his last chance at UFC gold. If he gets beat here, it's over. He's fought for it 3 times after this Saturday. I don't think he gets the job done on Saturday, and that's no disrespect to him whatsoever. I just think Tom, as a heavyweight, is a new breed of fighter, and I don't really think there's anyone that can really trouble him in that heavyweight division, to tell you the truth, right now anyway. I think with this fight, it's going to come down to a couple of things. Is Tom going to stand and strike and knock Ciryl out, or is Tom going to decide to take him down and submit him? Does Tom Aspinall want that war? Because Cyryl's been in the 4th and 5th round, Cyryl's been in the 3rd round and 3-round fights. Cyryl's gone the distance. We've never seen Tom get out of the 2nd round. He's got the lowest octagon time on average from any UFC fighter. Tom Aspinall puts people away. He's a clinical finisher. I think he's going to do the same on Saturday. And the reason why I've just said then it comes down to 2 things is because that's how I think it decides how Ciryl Gane goes out. Does Tom knock him out, or does he sub him? Now, the odds I'm looking at, I'm actually quite shocked. He's favourites to actually knock out Ciryl Gane. And when I say that, I mean he's 5-6 to knock him out. He's 9-1 to win via points, and he's 11-4 to win via submission. Now, if I'm looking at that fight as Tom Aspinall, Ciryl Gane is a dangerous opponent, and he's an elite kickboxer. Striking wise, you'd probably say Ciryl has the edge. When it comes to full picture MMA, Tom puts it better than anyone. Puts it together better than anyone. I really stumbled over my words there. But yeah, Tom puts it together better than anyone. And I think a full picture is he goes out, he takes this man down, and he subs him. I'm very surprised at them odds. It's kind of making me second guess myself, but I'm confident in that. I think Tom Aspinall gets the win on Saturday night, and I actually think it's via submission. Now, thinking about it, he could take him down, go for the sub, Ciryl defend, and he ground and pounds him. That is also another option, which would obviously be KO/TKO. But I'm still going by sub, which concludes the accumulator. So just to reiterate it, it's Azamat Mirzakhanov to win, Alexander Volkov to win, who's a big underdog, Umar Nurmagomedov to win, Mackenzie Dern to win, and Tom Aspinall to win via submission, which brings our odds out at 35-1. Now, I'm definitely going to be back on that. Like I said, last time we went 6 out of 6, 7 out of 7, and 7 out of 8 on our predictions. So if you want to win some money, follow me in on it. If you lose your money, don't come looking for me. It's your fault. I'm not a financial advisor, but jokes aside, I do think that's a pretty strong accumulator. If Volkov gets the win, obviously that's the big money maker on there, as well as the Tom submission. If Volkov gets the win, I think there's going to be quite a few people cashing in some big checks. Unless obviously Mario Bautista also gets the win and does a big upset against Umar Nurmagomedov. So that concludes it for this week's video. Let me know if you agree with me picks down below. If you've made it to the end, thank you so much. If you can show me some support, we're going to be building this channel up now. Interviews, fighter psychology, a lot of interesting stuff coming. Thank you for watching. We'll see